Today I'm going to talk to you about the right to vote. Voting is a privilege and a right not to be taken lightly. Um, One of the few things that you can do to ensure your right to vote remains is vote regularly. Vote in as many elections as possible so that you're heard on the issues. It establishes your credibility that when you go to talk about these issues, you can speak intelligently about them and have a formulated opinion on it. Examine the issues closely so that you can make an intelligent decision with them. Examine all the propositions that come up, do backgrounds into the candidates, see what they're like so you know how to vote intelligently whether or not you want to select your representatives that way, who you're going to choose to elect. Um, can voting bring about change? Absolutely. If it wasn't for voting, women would not have been guaranteed the right to vote in the 19th Amendment back in 1920. Further change ensured that African Americans were given full rights after 1965, although the uh, Civil War gave them the right to vote. It was still very limited by the southern states at the time. Um, the effects of voting. It's an important right. If you don't vote on the issues and you don't vote regularly, don't complain about something that gets passed or doesn't pass because you chose not to vote. Your vote can make a difference with it. What it does is it helps you establish the policies that formulate the government. It also helps choose your representatives. Again, you would be choosing for the candidate that suits you best. If your candidate does not get elected, don't complain about it. It forms the new laws and regulations. Even though Congress elects to add laws or not into the Constitution of the United States, on a local level, you can help pass city ordinances, state laws, state taxes, not to pass the taxes, whatever. But without voting, your opinion is never going to get heard. How can you ensure what's going to happen if you don't vote? Um, by voting by class over the past 200 years, lower income families and lower income class people have tended to vote more on the liberal side of issues. They vote for the social programs that help them out. They vote for the candidate that is going to best represent their wants, needs, and desires, uh, so that they are ensured a part of the grander pie. Higher class individuals, however, tend to vote more conservatively. They want to see their funds go towards something they desire, not towards the social programs. However, if those weren't done, the New Deal would have never passed. We would have never recovered from the Great Depression. It would have been two classes, the extreme poverty and the extremely rich. And it would have been the rich continuing to make the laws. Racial and gender also play a role in voting. The racial classes tend to vote more liberally for the different programs as well as the gender. Women tend to have more of an opinion on issues that affect women, such as abortion, whether or not it's the right to choose or pro-life. Either way, you know, that forms their opinion. But again, they do vote more liberally. The social characteristics, voting patterns are developed very much by social class, social background, how you're raised. Uh, as you're raised in the South, you want to vote more conservatively because you're tired of seeing people abuse the system. In the northern states and California, for example, it is very, very liberal. We have many social programs in place to where we allow people uh, to benefit from the different programs that each state has. Is this fair or is it a burden? It can be both. It is very fair to those who actually use the system for their advantage, not for their well-being. If they use it to benefit and then give back to that program, great. If they tend to stay on the programs, not so good. Either way, it can be a little bit more effective. So again, voting is one of the biggest tools and weapons that we have to voice our opinion to Washington, to our state representatives, and our elected officials. It allows us to establish these various policies, and without them, we lose our fundamental basic and one of our fundamental rights. Thank you.